Tap the screen, shut live. You see the topics. Yo, good morning. How you doing today, man?
Good. What's up? So I got a question. I've been seeing this 4B movement like on like primarily on TikTok. What is it?
A good Google search will do you some justice, but I'm finna tell you what I know. Basically, it's a movement that started in South Korea or somewhere in Korea where the women have decided we're no longer dealing with men. We're not doing the nasty with them. We're not marrying them. We're not having their kids. We're not dating them. And some women on TikTok or women over here in the so-called West picked up the movement too and are joining.
Okay, yeah. So based on that, I would say I mm, I think it's gonna I think it's dangerous because
Movement.
yeah, I think it's dangerous
Well, I'm gonna let you
because
get into your point, but before you get into the it's dangerous part, you do know that women don't have body autonomy. Like this ain't no pandering simp live, but I'm just saying they can't get. Let me see, because I can't say that word. They can't get rid of their unwanted pregnancy, or if they have a miscarriage, they facing legal action. They got to go other places. And then I heard they trying to get rid of either was it Plan B or the pill, that certain kind of pill.
they want to get rid of the pill.
That's what I've been hearing.
Wouldn't that be like moving towards pro life?
Yeah, but when it comes to, I can't really speak on. Well, I can't speak on it at all because I ain't no woman. You feel me? But I feel like women should be able to do what they want with their bodies. If they decide to eat is the fetus, that's on them. If it's wrong in whatever religion it is, guess what? They got to answer for it one day. And
Yeah,
it ain't my job to be down your throat on it.
right. But so with they want to get rid of the Plan B pill, but if the 4B movement is to empower women to be able to um make their own choices and do what they want and do how they feel, wouldn't the plan B prevent them from, wouldn't that be like a negative to the 4B movement?
And not necessarily, because with the 4B movement, like the women that's taking part of it over here, they're not that are participating. If they run into the right dude, then yeah, they gonna have a family and all that. But you got to meet her standards and things of that nature.
But I mean, if they, you said they want to ban the
No, I'm saying that's in terms of lawmaking. The lawmakers. I was telling you, the lawmakers.
so like
You
everyone
know,
else
Roe
has
v.
to do.
Wade got overturned.
Actually, yeah. When did that happen? How
I
long ago
don't.
was it?
I know it happened recently, either a couple years ago or either this year or a couple years ago.
Okay, let me read
But
the rest of it. So,
but the main thing for the 4B movement is women in South Korea. They're no longer dealing with men. That's all it is. They're no longer dealing with men. Nobody's forcing them to not deal with men. They decided, hey, we don't want to date. We don't want to do the nasty. We don't want to have your kids. Date, do the nasty, have your kids, and we don't want to. It was one more B. Date, do the nasty, do the kid. Oh yeah, get married and get married.
yeah, so I don't know. It depends on how the South Korean men feel about that. I think that if that does make like a dramatic change in their society, then I wouldn't be surprised if the men start, you know, looking elsewhere, moving out of South Korea to continue their way of life. And then on top of that, if the men say, okay, we're not going nowhere, then I wouldn't be surprised if the North Korean women try to, move to a more free country that aligns with their values like America. And if they do move to America, then that could, directly influence, the whole feminist movement that's happening in America. And that can empower that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I be seeing that feminist movement on TikTok. You go into some lives and but that's gonna derail it. I I just be watching a lot on here.
But yeah, I mean, it feels up to me. I mean, if I could vote on if that's I don't. Well, at the end of the story, I don't think that's a good idea. If I was a woman, that's not something I would believe in. But what's the rest say?
I mean, the 4B movement is sort of kind of like that red pill thing that was going on. The men going their own way because women were this and women were that, and dating sucks.
Well, um, you said that the 4B movement that the women don't basically don't want to have kids.
They don't want to do nothing. The women in South Korea with their 4B movement, they not having kids. They not doing the nasty. They not dating men. They not getting married to men.
And okay, so they want to die alone.
You can't. I don't think you can say that. You got to
Well,
use
I mean, I
TikTok for
know
it.
they want to in their life alone.
I guess so. And if they want to do that, hey, that's them.
Yeah,
Because
that's right. That is
we
them.
finna be realistic. If we finna be realistic on both sides, well, women are more okay with being alone. Some guys they got a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't want to be alone.
I think that's the reason why men do what they do is, for that appreciation from their kids, from their wife, from their entire family, from the society that they, build. I think that's ingrained in us to expect appreciation and joy and
Appreciate
love.
the gifts, bro. Unity. Appreciate the gifts.
But what else? It says why are men not helping other men be accountable?
Holding other men accountable.
Oh, why? Okay, holding other men accountable. What do you mean?
What it mean? It tells you. If you know
Well, I
you got
mean, like
if
you
you know
said
you
if
got
I
a
mean it's
homeboy
there for,
doing
huh?
something weird or he get down weird, you should press him. Or if you see something out in public, you know, You should say something. I'm pretty sure it's a woman in here watching. I'm pretty sure she can give you more of a definition if there's a woman in here watching.
Okay, so you're saying it's other men's responsibility to hold other men accountable?
In a sense. Because, you know, if you got homeboys out there doing wrong, you're going to hold them accountable, right?
But would you apply that same principle to someone unrelated to you, someone you don't know?
Let me see. Me personally, nah, because I don't want them consequences. I know me. Now, if I'm out in public, I see something going on, I'm going to call the police. The
Hmm.
police going to hold them accountable then.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think it's. I think if it's someone in your circle, then I think that. I think morally, you know have a responsibility to you know you know put in your 2 cents or help the best way you can. But I think if it's someone outside of your circle, someone unrelated to you, kind of like countries, is
Mhm.
America responsible for what's happening in you know in a war that's happening on the other side of the world? I would say no. But is America responsible for for the things that happen within its own country? I would say yes.
I get you. I get you. All right, so I ain't gonna have a whole lot of people come up because it's hard to control the channel. It's gonna be hard for me to control my panel. So we got a new person. Um,
Hey, quick question. The guy earlier has said that it'll be dangerous for women for the 4B movement. How so?
Talking about me.
Did you say it would be dangerous for women?
I didn't say for women. I said I think it would be you know I think it would be a dangerous thing for a couple of parties. I think that
What's
well, and it
dangerous? Because
depends
when you
too.
say the word dangerous, that sounds like harm is coming towards a person. There's like
Hmm.
violence. What's dangerous? What does that mean?
Hmm. Yeah, well, violence and danger is sort of different, but
It's the same thing.
no, it's not the same thing. But
You don't understand what definitions mean?
do you would you do you want to go there? Read me the definition of
I'm not
violent, and
reading
then
you
read.
nothing. That's the problem
Okay,
with
then don't
y'all.
bring up
You had to
definitions.
ask the host what does 4B mean when there literally is a Google. You can Google it and they have a website and all. I'm not reading
yeah,
nothing to you.
that's why I
Okay,
did my
well, don't read
research.
it, but don't ask me. Okay, so back to what I was saying. My
You the
view
one that
is,
said the word and you don't even know what you said.
can I finish?
No, you can't.
Then
So
why'd you
back
ask
to
me a
what the
question
host was
then?
saying. This is what, in regards to what the host was saying, this is where when folks are using specific words to say danger and saying certain key phrases to where it's like, hold up, are we not saying that? How long have we been saying that these women need to choose better, and these women are
Mhm.
made a decision and
Wait,
they're
hold on.
choosing
I'm gonna let
themselves?
you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but I just want to say this right here. I made these same exact points the last time I had this live before I was banana. I got banana the week, y'all. So I just got my account back today. But go ahead and finish.
Sorry, which point you want to make sure that I don't say it, so I don't want no issues to
Oh
happen
no,
again.
go ahead, go ahead. I don't care about rehearing your points because like I already, So go ahead. There's people here that, well, 7 people here that probably haven't heard these points before. But go ahead, do your thing. My fault.
No, the question I had is as a community, all day, every day, there's lives 24 hours talking about how these women are horrible, how these women can't raise kids, how their kids are ended up in prison, how these women they can't pick a father, how it's not the father's fault that he can't financially afford a kid, why this woman got child support, why is she? It's always something about a woman. So if they decided that this is what they're gonna do, I'm confused as to what the
Hmm.
problem is.
Exactly. I agree. I support the 4B movement.
I I support grown people for doing whatever they decide is best for them because as a
Hmm.
community, we have continued to berate and said that these women have no idea what they're doing with their reproductive system. So guess what? They finally made a decision for themselves and it has nothing to do with anyone else. But because they have heard that, hey, clearly I don't know how to choose better. I don't know how to pick properly. I don't know how to vet. because whomever it is that they vet, it always ends up with some kind of drama behind it. So it may be best that I just say, you know what, let me just remove myself. I don't understand why the community is talking about, oh, there's so many folks that have been saying, oh, this is gonna be dangerous, oh, this is gonna be the end of us as a
Mm-hmm.
community. Excuse me? I thought we produce nothing but violence.
Y'all generally do in America.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Q. And I'm happy that you said that. Again, shout out to those women that have decided that instead of them participating in the shenanigans, just like Q just stated, that our community of women, generally, we create violent human beings. Thank you so much, Q.
I
I'm gonna
didn't
cut
say
y'all off
create.
again.
I said y'all are.
Cut y'all
You're
off
right,
again.
Q. No, he right, host. He
I'm gonna
right.
say this right here. I be the lives she talking about. Those are those Redfield Manosphere type lives. I done been in there. I don't participate because I can't get behind the logic they spew. And I remember I was in one of them. They was talking about when you fly a woman out, or you got a woman coming over here for this and that, you not paid for this, and she don't want to do nothing, so you leave her strand. Like, bruh, I done been in those type of lives. I don't participate. I just
Well,
be
just
sitting
in
there listening. And I done been on the other side of the lives where the women tell their experience and they so-called man bashing. Ooh. I done been on both sides. I be sitting there watching on both sides and listening.
just
Mm-hmm.
on here, you heard how Q just stated that we generally produce violent children.
That depends on how they raised. Who produces generally violent children?
That's what Q just said,
Is
and
it
that's why I
saying
said
single
I
parent
agree.
households or just
You say
women in
you agree?
general?
You say you agree?
I agree. That's why these women are choosing 4B.
And look, they're choosing 4B because it moved over here. Yeah, it's some bad stuff going on in South Korea. But it's bad stuff going on over here too. That's why it's a 4B West movement. That's why it's moving over here. Cause women been telling us for years. And we guys gotta pick up the slack. We ain't been listening. It ain't every guy. But it's too many. Cause I remember sometime last year I held the panel. It was a safe space for women. And boy, listen, I don't blame these women for how they think, how they move. You feel me? I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Right now, if you ask a woman, does she feel safe in her environment when she go outside or away from home or in the home, she gonna tell you no. She don't feel safe. But yeah, the 4B movement, I support it. I don't blame them for why they choosing to do the 4B movement. I don't know what he mean by women in America are generally violent, because I ain't really ran into too many violent women in my 29 years of living.
So what is South Korean women's motivation for the 4B movement?
Again, you can Google this, sir. You can
I'm
go
not
read it.
asking
You don't know
you.
how to
I'm
read?
asking the host. I'm asking the
Hold on.
host.
Well, it's hold on. I didn't really do too deep of a deep dive, but I'm pretty sure if I use my common sense, if women are deciding they don't want nothing to do with men, it got to be some bad, heinous stuff going on over there.
But notice how again he's keep placing responsibility for someone else to teach him what he can literally read on his own.
Okay, let me ask you.
That's good to
Why
see.
is there a question mark in the what is the 4B
All right, so
movement?
the 4B movement, it translates to Baihan, no to heterosexual marriage. I can't read these words, I ain't gonna lie. Bishusan, no to childbirth. Bayane, no to dating. And Bisu, I can't read none of that. Okay, I know how to read, but I can't pronounce that. No to doing the nasty. And the I'm on Google. It says the Korean women's rights movement, radical feminist movements in South Korea focused on women's rights as human beings. Many of those groups were formed during the late 1980s as opposed to the older reform. Oh no, I don't think you want to need that right now. But the 4B movement, it just basically means women are abstaining from marriage, childbirthing, dating, and doing the nasty. What is the purpose of the 4B movement? Advocates for women to reject gender norms, including, you get it, and protest of the country's rampant misogyny.
So it's basically a feminist movement in South Korea.
Because of rampant misogyny. The whole movement is because a whole bunch of stuff happening against women, danger, pretty sure, and rampant misogyny. They are looked at as objects because of how men treat them. He missing the whole point. I'm reading comments. I just silently be reading them. All right, so you got any
Well,
more
it
questions?
says Tyson wants to join, but I'm how am I? It says I'm missing the whole point. What point am I missing?
These the comments. These what, and that's a woman.
Sir,
That's
you
a woman
literally
right
just chucked
there.
it up and
That's a
said because
woman.
feminist movement. After this man literally just stated about violence, well, the V word and things that are transpiring to those women, the only thing you chucked it up to, oh, so it's feminism.
I think that's
No,
a
I
woman
said it's
right
a
there too.
feminist movement. Is
I'm
this
This
gonna
not
let
what
you
it
man
join,
just
is?
bro.
talked about folks are being harmed, and all you said was feminism.
That's what the movement is.
Lord,
It's
have
empowering
mercy. The
Bro,
feminism.
I'm reading
chromosomes
the
Is it
comments
not?
and
definitely
they
are
coming
short.
from women. The women telling you. I'm reading the comments and the women I don't want to just assume all on women. I don't know, but you know, from the profile picture and what I can see, they look like women. No, I'm not calling y'all saying y'all look like men or nothing like that. I don't just want to assume. You know how TikTok is. I don't know how people are, but
I
I'm
never
just
said
saying.
why the movement is happening. I
You know
said
what,
what the
Q?
movement is.
You don't have access. These women have. I just hope that the
Girl,
ladies
I
that are
do not
listening,
care.
they
I
shut
do
down
not care.
access to
Girl,
you.
just shut up because you're
They shut
projecting.
down
Hey,
You're
access to
listen,
you. Oh,
projecting. You're
notice how
I be
projecting.
violent you're
telling
getting.
people
You're
to shut up
Oh,
projecting.
and
Mr.
talk
You're
at me,
hurt and you're
Q.
please.
projecting.
One at a
Wow,
time.
look how violent
You're
you're getting. Now you're
projecting.
telling me to shut up.
I
All
Wow.
right, I'm
can.
gonna
This
get
is
some
the
new
internet. I
people
can
up
say
here.
what I want.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some new people
wow.
up here.
I
I'm
can say
not
what I
doing
want.
this to get my account taken. All right, y'all. It was nice to have y'all up here. I'm gonna get some new people. All right, so is there? If I have a woman come up, I'm gonna have a woman come up by herself, bro.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right, what's up, man?
Oh, light and love to you. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right.
I was just wanting to discuss specifically the idea of keeping men accountable. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's a part of the process. I mean, a part of the top is the
Yes.
women.
I wanted to share a story on how I did this and then ask how you have done this in your life, and perhaps share and come up with some ideas on how best to do this. Because I feel that when people say men need to keep other men accountable, what they want other men to do is force other men to stop. And that's not something that can be done. For example, in my story, I had a best friend of many, many years. He was a cheater. He had holes in his heart that he chose to fill with sex, relationships, and women. Now, I was still friends with this person, though I told him every time I caught him or learned of this information that this was shitty, he should not act this way. He can just be in an open relationship if it's really that serious, but he never did. It wasn't until about last year when I was 21 years old and he decided to bring that energy into my home and he decided to disrespect me in that way as well as the young lady that he brought over and his girlfriend of many years who was also my friend, that I decided to say, I'm done with you, my friend. The vibration you choose to act on is not the vibration that includes me anymore. And so we had a long conversation. I told him he needed therapy. I told him he did not have to mistreat his girlfriend, who was a very sweet young lady. I also had the conversation with his girlfriend as well. Yes, my best friend, one of my best friends, brought over another girl and attempted to sleep with her in my house. Obviously, that's very shitty. Why do you stay with him? And over the course of long, long, long conversations, all very exciting, without judgment on my part, she basically decided to still stay with him. I had another best friend who eventually I found out was abusing his girlfriend in a variety of different ways. I immediately contacted her and we had a long conversation about what's been going on. And she said that she felt better because she thought she was going crazy and she
I'm
felt
gonna let y'all up
isolated.
there. Hold on. I'm telling these people I'm gonna let them up.
Oh, I
You good,
understand.
bro?
She was feeling isolated, she was feeling crazy, and she felt better to have been seen and to know that this was not normal. You understand, because her parents were abusive and her ex before my best friend was abusive as well. So we had a 4 hour conversation, but not 30 minutes later, my friend is texting me talking about how she felt uncomfortable, she felt forced by the idea. What I think happened is she got afraid. When she began to bring up some of the things that I brought up with him, she got afraid. Now, I simply texted him back, told him, are you hitting on your girlfriend? He said, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. I said, it
What?
most certainly is, as you and her are one of my good friends, but I can't physically stop you. So I'll just simply stop being friends with you. And I've already communicated with her that she should get out of this relationship. These are the most prime, most recent examples I have of keeping other men in my life accountable. They're still doing what they're doing, right? He still
Mhm.
cheats. The last time I heard, he was still a shitty boyfriend and cheats on the woman he's hitting as well. What more do you think, if you can think of anything, could I have done in that situation to keep both of those young men accountable?
Mm.
Because
Well, see,
again, it's can't accountability is not forcing something on someone. It's simply saying, hey, this really isn't representative of your best, true, highest self. And if you don't want to be that version, that's okay, but I'm not going to be around this version. That's as
mm,
far as that can really go, you understand.
I understand completely.
So what do you think about these ideas, my friend?
Huh?
I said, what do you think about these ideas? How have you kept men accountable? Do you believe what I did is what people are asking for? Or could
Yeah.
I have done something more?
What else can you do? I mean, he was laying the paws on his girlfriend. You tell him that's not cool. That's not your best self, and he was cheating on her. You pressed him about it. You brought it to his attention, even though he know he was doing it, and you distance yourself. That's part of being an adult.
Oh, I agree. I
You can't
just, yes.
change. Like if you gotta know somebody doing wrong, you bring it to their attention, and they still do it. That means they don't care, and
Oh, I
they'll probably
agree.
put you in a situation.
Oh, I certainly agree.
See, I ain't really got no examples of holding somebody accountable because cause I don't have a bad group of friends. I never had the bad group of friends growing up.
I understand.
And you know how my parents set up, ain't yeah. So if I got a homeboy now, if he beating on his girl, then yeah, we can't be friends no more. If you not taking care of your kids, we can't be cool no more. Cause I got homeboys that's married with girlfriends. Well,
Yes.
married and have girlfriends.
All
You
right.
feel me? So
Is that part of his relationship? Did his
what?
partner agree that that's okay, or is he cheating?
No, I'm saying if I have what I'm saying is I have friends that are in successful relationships. They either have girlfriends or they're married. Like
Oh,
my
I
close
understand.
circle of guy friends.
I understand what you're saying. Someone in the comments said call the police. And while I don't at all disagree, and if I had witnessed the abuse in
All
front of
them
me, I
people
would
good.
have.
I was gonna let them come up.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Nah, I was talking about the people that was in the comments that wanted to come up.
Oh, I see, I see. I was simply saying that the police had been called many times. That's part of the package of information I got when I decided to call her in the first place. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the police come, he throws things, he breaks my things. Girl, why are you staying? We all know the police in America are nothing. They do very little in that way, especially when it comes to helping women and minority women at that, black women at that.
Mm-hmm.
There is one more thing I'd like to say. And just so you know, if you would like to invite a young woman up, that's okay. I'm not going to argue with her. I will not insult her or tell her to be quiet as the last young man did.
Mm-hmm. That was I had to get rid of both of them. I ain't like how you was talking to that lady. And that lady, she ain't say nothing wrong. She ain't disrespect the dude. All she did was come up here and give us some information that he didn't want to go search. I got my computer right in front of me today, so people got questions. I go look it up.
Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being willing to help our fellow brothers and sisters to understand.
Cause look, I don't know if you can see it or not. Don't know if you're colorblind. You can see. I don't know. I ain't joking. But I'm a black man, a blind black man. Nah, I ain't blind, but I can't see far away.
Okay.
But and you know, I got a mom, I got a sister. I ain't come on here to do no pandering, no simping. I got a sister, I got lady cousins, aunties. I came from a black woman. I'm not finna get on this app arguing no black woman, calling her, talking about her wig and her makeup. If you a black man, you grew up small population. That's just what some women like. Every woman is different. If you got a problem with a woman and her wigs and her nails and her makeup, go find you a black woman or a different race of woman that don't do the nails, the wigs. It's not hard. And you ain't got to bash the black women. Just because you having bad experiences with black women, go. You better vet better. Just like you be telling these women to close their legs and they used up goods by the time they 30 and
If I may, I would like to say one more thing towards one of the bullet points. Why are
what's up?
men so bothered by this movement? The idea is, as we all know, society, governments, parents continue to perpetuate and pass down certain belief systems,
Mm-hmm.
negatively oriented belief systems. And while there are plenty, as we know, that are applied to women, like they are not enough, not beautiful enough, used up, that they are sexual objects or can be sexually objectified in their nature, that they should settle for whatever man is good enough, and many, many other things. Recognize men are treated the exact same way, you understand. They have different beliefs placed upon them, and those beliefs are felt, thought, and acted on in different ways, but they are the same negative energy. You understand? Many young men are taught very, very young that women are the prize, are a commodity, are something to be gained, achieved, or held on to. You understand? This applies doubly to sex in general. Is that all right that I say that?
Probably got to say schmecks
Okay, schmecks. This
or
applies
the
to schmecks.
nasty. Use different terms.
Yes, this applies to schmecks as well. Many men believe their power lies in how much schmecks they can have, how much schmecks they can get. Think about the terminology we use in general, even women towards themselves, of having schmecks. Oh, well, I'm not going to let you hit. Oh, well, I'm not going to give it up, as if it itself is an object to be attained or given. You understand? Schmecks is a unified co-creation between two humans, but we do not see it this way. We do not treat ourselves this way. So when men perceive that all of a sudden the things or the women, but things in their mind, in their belief system, the things that they have been told is theirs by their birthright, is something they should hunt, achieve, conquer, when all of a sudden they sense, they're perceiving that there is being taken away all of a sudden, what they're actually experiencing, though we know it's not true, is that their power is being taken away. You understand? That's
Mm,
what they actually experience right now. Now, of course, not every man, just like it's not every woman. It is very generalized.
yes.
However, there are plenty of men who legitimately believe, oh, women are doing this, women are doing that, God, this, that, and the other. They believe their power is being taken away. Another facet of it is that there are some men, I'd like to think like myself, who do their best to be the best version of themselves every single moment, growing and learning and making this place a balanced, unified place for people to come and be themselves. But because I overly identify with the label of man, when I hear a black woman say, oh, black men ain't shit, I take it personally, you understand,
Mm,
which has nothing to do with anyone else but me. I have to let that go. But you can understand how frustrating it could be for a young man who is doing
mhm,
everything in his power to make this world a better place by keeping his best friends accountable, by speaking with young women about what they truly deserve in their lives. And yet, even when I do that, they do not change, you understand. The men
mhm,
themselves do not change, the women do not change and love themselves. So when I hear it's all men till it's no men, I understand the idea truly in totality, but it does not make it any less frustrating in the now that I'm creating for myself. So
mhm.
these are the simple two topics I wanted to bring up.
All right, after you land your plane, let him go. Cause he been sitting, him or her, I don't know. Road patiently been waiting.
Her.
Her, okay, cool, cool.
So, is it finished? Unity?
Yes, yes, thank you so much. Light and love to you, sister.
Oh, you too. So, basically, I totally understand the patriarchy, and women have been saying this. The patriarchy it is damaging everybody.
Yes.
But the thing of it is, women can't dismantle the patriarchy. Only men can do that. We can't do anything about it. All we can do is react to it. And that's it. Same thing with racism. Black people can't dismantle systemic oppression and the systemic racism within the country. White people have to do that. We can't do that as a people. And I do understand what it's like when you hear women say it's black men ain't shit, because I'm 45, and since I was a girl, I've been hearing black women are hoes, black women are bitches. That's prevalent throughout throughout our culture. You
Yes.
know,
How old did you say you were again?
45.
There's a lot of self-hatred.
Okay, okay. I'm not being funny. You go ahead. You go ahead.
What are you gonna say? Gen X?
Oh nah. I clicked the sound. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not.
Oh, I
What is
heard
it?
it.
What is
Nah,
click it
it was the
again?
down from Friday.
Okay. Yeah. And so, but that goes to show you just how long this has been going on. Even in the 70s during the black exploitation movies, uh black dudes was pimps and black women was the hoes and the bitches and stuff like that. And during the 80s and 90s, that was the whole thing. Pimp and gangster culture, that was just the culture of it all. So yeah, I understand what that's like, and it's unfortunate that young men are getting the consequences of that now. But basically what ended up happening is women just got tired, and so we just start returning the energy. Before that, it was Motown. If you look at how people on Motown were, I mean, Motown was all about the love and stuff like that, even though in their private lives it was the exact opposite. But
Would
that's
you
what was
educate
put
me a
out.
little bit on Motown? I have not heard this before.
I
Oh,
haven't.
Motown? Huh?
I haven't heard about the Motown thing.
Would you
You
be so
haven't heard
kind as to
Motown
educate
era,
us?
like the Motown era. If you go listen to any sort of Motown music, it's just about the love of each other and stuff like that.
Oh, I
You know what
see.
I mean?
Yes.
Uh, yeah, like the God dog it, the Temptations, Diana Ross and the
Ah, I
Supremes.
see. I did not know they were called Motown artists.
Yeah, that was Motown because they was on Motown. They call them Motown, the Motown artists and everything. But it was more than just Motown. It was other people too. But that music back then, it wasn't the same. You know, once the 70s hit, black exploitation came out. And then especially when rap came out, not I'll be honest, when rap hit the West Coast, that's when everything went to hell.
May
And that's what
I share some ideas on what you've said so far? Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Thank you. First and foremost, you said that women cannot change the patriarchy. And while I agree they cannot do it alone, and while I obviously agree men need to take at least half of the accountability, the responsibility, and the action done to change the system, it cannot solely be done by men because there are not only men being experienced by the patriarchy. If you will see this system, this global system we have created ourselves for ourselves, because it's not real, it's all in our head, it's all what we agree it to be. If you'll see it as a hand, you'll recognize that the hand has 5 fingers, each with 3 notches in them. These can represent our systems, our many systems, our government, our education, our policing, our housing, all the systems. Recognize we all unified and
Hold on, right quick.
uniformly.
It's 9 people in here. Y'all tap the screen, shut a live, bro. We only at 785, and I've been live for how long? 38 minutes. Come on, man. Y'all tap the screen. All right, you go ahead, bro.
Oh, thank you. You'll recognize that it has to be done by all of us. When I said earlier, this is just a small example, that it's all men till no men. Many women that I've experienced come across with that with a lot of anger and aggression, and I understand where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at all invalidating the emotions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
Just like as I am a black man, I understand the anger towards police. However, that anger doesn't actually get done what we want it to get done. You will never force all of man, and I mean men specifically in that category, to be better with anger and hatred and rage.
But that's
Anger and
why,
hatred and rage is what has got us to this point so far by
right? But that's
separating and dividing and telling us that we are not enough,
wait,
women
wait, wait,
and
wait,
men
wait.
alike.
That's what the 4B movement is doing. Since men can't change and no one can force men to do anything, the only person you can change is yourself.
I
So the
absolutely agree.
4B movement is just a bunch of women saying, well, fine, you know what, you're right. You can't force anybody to do anything, but I can remove myself. I can remove myself and I can remove my womb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
And there
agree.
is absolutely nothing wrong with that because that's a choice by every person. Just like all those bad men say, I'm not going to change and ain't willing to change. Just like so many good men say, well, we can't do anything to the bad men. All we can do is just stop being friends with them. We can't vote for laws and legislation that would change some of this stuff. We can't go to the school boards and tell them to start teaching stuff where women actually took part in history rather than looking at everything in history from a male perspective. We can't do that. So since
Why
y'all
do you
can't
say
do that,
this?
huh? Because this is what I mean. Y'all say men can't change anything, so this is what I'm saying. You can't change the bad men. Bad men, those men were conditioned to be what they were.
Yes, I agree.
Right. So conditioning and all that conditioning stuff, that's social conditioning. All that stuff starts in school, churches, everywhere, just like you said. And since men aren't willing to do anything different about that, well, those men aren't willing to do anything different, and the women that are still out had enough are just gonna step out of it. And that's their right, and that's our right, and that's our choice.
Well, of course, I don't disagree. The idea
Uh-huh.
of this is simply how it's gone about
Yep.
doing. I've spoken to some or listened to some women who go about enacting this movement with a lot of anger. And when a man attempts to speak to them, not always as disrespectful as the young man before
Oh, I
there
know
is
what type of lives you talking about. I done been in there. I don't comment like red pill lives or them type of lives with the women over there. I don't comment. I just be in the comments, just watch. I don't even type because they
that's
gonna invite you
certainly
to come up there. They don't tell you I'm finna invite you. They just randomly invite you.
Yeah, and eat you up.
I don't
yes,
like that. I
exactly.
don't like
I
that.
have attempted to have these types of conversations before, but there was so much anger and negativity, and so much, shall I say, you oppressed us for so long, now it's our turn, that conversation couldn't actually be had as we're having it now, you understand?
Well, I
As you
get
said,
that.
your actions of choosing to simply stay celibate in a way and not interacting with men in that type of energy, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're
Mhm.
going around, and I'm not saying that you are, but hypothetically, if you're going around insulting men and calling them less than what they are, instead of while doing what you know you need to do and building them up whenever you can, whenever you see that opportunity,
Appreciate the likes.
But wait, Unity. Men don't do
yes,
that for women at all. And
this
when
is
and
this is where
when
I would say not
right,
systemically,
but
but
Unity,
men do this.
y'all are talking about y'all's feelings are getting hurt. Women are actually being unalive.
Yep,
I
abuse,
understand what you're
all that.
saying.
Right.
I'm
So
not
you see, there's
disagreeing
a
at
so
all. I'm not comparing the two.
I do understand that it hurts to get your feelings hurt. I do get that. But at least with your feelings hurt, you get to walk away.
Yep.
I
And
understand what you're
the
saying.
fact that men compare the two like they're the same thing, that's where that anger comes from.
If I
Because you're
may,
putting such a little value on a woman's life, your feelings is worth more than her life.
And that's crazy because you
I
came from
understand.
a woman that risked her life to birth you.
And that's what we're hearing when men say, well, y'all are calling us names. Y'all have so angry and y'all and there's such vitriol and you're being so mean, especially when we got all of that along with the physical violence and
I understand
vitriol
what you're saying
and hate.
wholeheartedly. Believe me.
Right,
Trust that I hear you as best you can. I can repeat what you said to make sure we're on the same page.
right.
Recognize I have never, nor will I ever compare the idea of a woman being unalived, let's say for rejection, to a woman calling a man less than who he is. The point I was making that is in order to actually change the system holistically from every perspective, from the way we speak, think, and act about and with each other to the systemic level of laws and legislation, I'm saying that name calling in general, men, women, it doesn't matter, white, black, it doesn't matter, is not going to get that done. Does that make sense? So I'm not comparing the two
The
at
other
all.
thing didn't
Yes, I
the other
wholeheartedly
stuff
agree
didn't work
women are in
either.
more danger
One at a time.
physically.
Please do not talk over each other.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying that the other stuff didn't work either. The
Yes, I
marching
understand
and
what
the
you're saying.
picketing and the asking nicely, that didn't work either.
I
No,
understand
didn't
what you're
work.
saying holistically. This is where I say we can, as the civil rights movement did in the past, get together with people of a like vibration, of a like mind, people, young men and women, because both have to be a part of the conversation. You cannot exclude either one. And begin as best you can acting on that excitement to put these people in legislative positions, in positions to actually create the laws, create the world we wish to live in. You cannot do that if you are telling every man that they are less than who they are,
Mm-hmm.
as that cannot be done if every man is suppressing women and telling them, oh, you could never be the president, you could never be a CEO, you could never be this. Of course they can. The only way we'll actually act on that is when we begin to love each other again, you understand. This, I will say, especially applies in the black community because there is a certain type of separation that I agree has been perpetuated by the systemic systems created However, we have to become aware and take the power back. It is our power. When we give it to everyone else, what more could we ever do but be victims?
Okay.
Uh,
So
when we land the plane on that, I got one question.
uh-huh.
It's related to the 4B movement, but the guy side of things. I'm sitting here on Google looking up. Well, I ain't really clicked nothing. I looked up one or two things. But yeah, go ahead. Y'all land your plane, get your points out.
What was your question?
Oh no, I'm waiting for y'all to finish.
Oh, I
You
understand.
gonna wait for
Well, that's
me?
all I had to say.
Yo, that's it. What about you, Rob?
Oh, I was just gonna say that the civil rights movement is the perfect example of how asking nicely and being nice and being Christian does not work. We got so far, but look at all the stuff. Look at where we still are. That
We
movement should
stopped
have
asking
catapulted us.
nicely.
Should have catapulted us. Now, if you look at the civil rights movement from a patriarchal perspective, you find out that black women were doing a whole lot of stuff, writing speeches, marching, putting ourselves on the line. And when it came to the actual march on Washington, they told them to sit down and take a back seat. No one could do a speech over, I think, what, a minute or 2 minutes, because they didn't want it. They didn't want anything to be taken. They didn't want the light to be taken away from the men. They didn't want the women to get up there and do their stuff. So you need to sit down. And then the same thing happened in the Black empowerment movement. So while men are sitting, and then on top of that, we just had a bunch of men go, and women, but we ain't gonna get on them. We ain't gonna get on them. Roe v. Wade just got overturned.
Yeah.
I don't know where you are, but here in Texas, a woman can get arrested for having a miscarriage.
I said that earlier.
And men are complaining about being treated mean, people being mean to them. Imagine losing your child and then have the police come and handcuff you.
And
How do you think that made her feelings feel? How do you think that hurts?
I
Imagine
understand what you're
being
saying.
12 and being raped and told you still got to carry.
That's messed up.
If you will, you must stop comparing those two experiences.
Well,
I'm not at all saying that men's feelings getting hurt is equivalent. They're not at all the same.
But
I'm simply saying that in order to change, name calling on any degree will never work. We will never name call our world into unity. You understand?
Well, here's the thing. Love hasn't worked either.
Yes, it has.
No, it has not.
Yes,
Love ain't worked a one bit. We got a genocide going on in Palestine. We got the Congos, women are being raped over there, and they're pretty much being enslaved. You got
something still going on in China.
New prisons here in the United States.
Yes,
they're building new private prisons. This love stuff has not worked. Anytime there has ever been change throughout history, what caused the change?
Well, what do you think?
A fight.
If you say so. If I may, the civil rights movement did change a lot. And did black men and women lose their lives? Absolutely. That's the fight. I will love you so hard you could kill me and it would not change it.
Unalive.
Excuse me. You could unalive me and it would not change it.
And
did it get to the place we prefer? No. That's because after the civil rights movement, we continuously, with our governments, allowed for them to infiltrate, plant drugs and other substances in our societies, control the music industry so that the music we began to create was more self-deprecating, more hateful. And I agree this is all being perpetuated majority-wise by people with male genitalia. I do not at all disagree with that. What I'm saying is, though, we cannot fight and kill each other, unalive each other into being okay. It will not work. It will never work. Because let's just say, hypothetically, you took it as far as it could go, and every woman on the planet decided to go around unaliving all the men who had ever done anything wrong.
Wait. We didn't say unalive. We said we are removing ourselves.
No, yes, I know. Yeah. I'm saying in a hyperbolic state. I'm saying take this idea and take it as far as you can.
But
in
I'm
a negative
saying
direction.
women would never do that.
Yes, I know, friend. I know. Of course, no one would ever do this. You can't get 4 billion people to unalive the other 4 billion. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Well, actually, men have tried. That's what a genocide is.
I understand what you're saying. I'm saying on the highest level that we can take this idea. meaning an entire gender of people choose to take out an entire gender of people collectively, everyone agrees, there's no allies on any other side. I'm saying hypothetically, that would not create peace. It would only create more war. There would only be other little boys and little girls who remembered that destruction and perpetuated it in their lives. Oh, well, I don't like the way this is going. Women have way too much power now. So you know what? I'm going to stand up and rebel, and that's not getting done. So I'm just going to go unalive people. And I get it. But if you will believe even for a moment that true love, which we rarely experience in the system we create, the things that we have experienced of it are the tiniest beginnings of a taste of love. Barely a step on the staircase that is. We have explored hatred, division, anger, unaliving, genocide, as you said, for literally thousands of years. Clearly, that's not going to work anymore. We have to try another way. I guess we don't have to. I'll go down with you. You are my brothers and sisters, and I love you all unconditionally. But with love, change can happen. The civil rights movement is an example of how, yes, unified things could change entire governments. Yes, it's going to take some time. It's unfortunate, but it will. Yes, people will lose their lives because the enemy, if you will, the people who are acting out of disempowerment, that's the games they play. They play manipulation, they play lying, they play stealing, they play unaliving. That's not the mission, that's not the game I wish to play. I wish to show them that love is more powerful than all those things combined. Now, if you disagree, that's okay. I'm not here to make my truth your
No,
truth.
I do. I agree. Love is a wonderful thing, but it's easy to sit back. It's easy to sit back and talk about love when you're talking about it from a place of privilege. It's not women. Women aren't actually doing these things. Like in your scenario that you're talking about right now, this in what you said, this extreme
Yes, just a
example of the
hypothetical.
world, basically that's happening right now to women. And you don't even realize it. You gave an example that in your head was far-fetched, and that's actually happening right now to women. So for us, it's not, this isn't like some far off, maybe if, what happens if, and all that stuff. That's happening right now. And what we're doing is, like I said, simply removing ourselves. And if you think about it, if you consider what, like you said, what women could be doing, what we are doing is love. We are
I
just
agree.
simply removing ourselves from the situation. We are letting men go about y'all's way. We are allowing men to figure it out. We are allowing men to grow in their own time. We are just
Thank you.
simply removing ourselves in our wombs from the patriarchy and this capitalist system that we have right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, the 4B movement could actually help society
I agree
because if we
wholeheartedly.
don't have any more workers, they may think twice about lowering some of these prices instead of having everything go up.
Yes,
Everyone
like with
wants to
Kellogg.
talk about the economy, but it is not the economy. Those companies don't have to charge as much as they do. They don't have to pay their CEOs as much as they do. They could start paying their fair share of taxes. They don't even pay their fair share of taxes. But we suffer. So you know what? We're going to remove our wombs and we're going to remove those workers. So no, you're not going to get any workers. You want to charge rent for daycare and after school care. That's fine. We just won't have any kids for daycare at all or for after school at all. We're just going to remove our wombs and let everybody be. You can keep doing what you're doing. We gonna keep doing what we're doing.
Oh, I
That's
don't think that I'm
that ain't nothing
disagreeing
but
with the
love.
Boer Fee Mimic, the Boer, excuse me, B4 movement. Don't misunderstand the conversation as me disagreeing with that. I don't at all disagree with that. As someone said earlier, what grown women do with their bodies is none of my business. I don't
Right.
care.
But at the
Good for
same
you.
time, you can't tell an oppressed people how to react to oppression. You're
I'm
saying
not
that be
telling you how to
nicer.
react. I'm saying
Well,
how you could. There are many
I
options.
get it. I
This
get it.
is
But
one,
you don't
hatred
get a
is
voice
another,
in that though.
love
That's
is
the thing.
another. I
Yeah, I get it.
understand what
But
you're
you don't get
saying.
a voice in that. Now, who you
How are we
can
to
do, you
come
can go
together
as
though?
a man and you could go to other men and say, hey, man, we need to stop acting this way and we need to stop acting that way.
I
But you
did.
can't
That's why
come
I'm
over
here.
here and women and tell us how you think we should act when it comes to us being oppressed by men. That's like if a white guy get up in here and tell you as a black man how you should be reacting to his racism. That would be insulting, would it not?
I understand what you're saying. Recognize I am doing that here and now, speaking with this host and speaking with you now. I understand wholeheartedly what you're saying. Believe me, I don't at all disagree. Recognize I'm not telling anyone how they should or should not react to anything. I'm simply saying, based on the observations I have made, negative energy simply being that which separates, that which isolates, that which atrophies, will not get us to be whole, will not get the Black community, the United States of America, or the global world together, unified, loving each other, holding each other, taking care of each other, making sure everyone is fed and safe and protected. Negative energy will never do that. That's not its nature. Now, again, I'm not saying the 4B movement is negative. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Again, that's perfectly fine. What a fantastic way to show that we're tired of this movement by completely changing how we're going to interact with the other group, if you will. There's nothing at all wrong with that. I don't care. I don't mind. Good for you and everyone else who chooses to participate. What I'm saying simply is that we cannot give up on love. We cannot give up on compassion. That young man, his name was Q, who came in and told that other young lady, or excuse me, woman, to shut up. This is, if I were in the live at the time and I had the opportunity, if it was my live, I would have corrected him. I would have simply said, hey, I understand you're frustrated. Yes, she is over talking you a little bit, maybe doing a little bit of projecting, but you do not need to be disrespectful. I cannot do in my now, besides, of course, voting for certain legislation, besides speaking to men and women about what we think can be done. I can't do anything more. And me insulting him, oh, what are you doing? This is the problem. You're the problem. God, what's wrong with you? Who raised you? That will never make him change his ways. When's the last time you were insulted into being a better person? However, I have seen, and please feel free to tell me a story in which that's the case. I'm cool to gather more information. But what I have seen has worked, especially with young men, is to actually listen to them and find out who taught them to be what they are. Because I guarantee you, if we had the opportunity to speak to that young man, he'd say, well, my dad used to speak to my mom that way. Well, my uncle used to treat my aunt that way. Well, I had friends who all treated their girlfriends that way. I thought that's just what it is. It's not a big a deal. If you are willing, and it's okay if you're not in this way, because again, the 4B movement is another way in which you can reflect to these young men collectively and individually who they actually prefer to be. Do you
Yeah,
actually
that's
prefer to be this ball of anger? I'm not talking to you, I'm talking about young men. Do you actually prefer to take every rejection so personally that you would actually need to attack
oh,
someone?
unity. You
Yes.
got to give me some time to retort. You're saying a whole lot.
Oh, my apologies. It was all on the same topic. My
No,
apologies. I
no,
do
no,
not mean
no.
to preach.
You're passionate. I am not. Hey, I ain't trying to squash your passion. You are passionate, and that
Thank you.
and brothers do need that. But here's the problem. That's for men to do. That is not for women to do. That's for men to do. That y'all have to do that. Y'all have to do that. Y'all have to go out there and touch those young men. It can't be women. And the reason why it can't be women is because, like I said, we are still in a society that is patriarchal. And it conditions young men to think that women don't have a brain and we shouldn't have an opinion and we should be overlooked and we're objects. So
Yes.
it can't be us, it has to be y'all. So no, we can't do that. The only thing we can do is like I said before, is remove our rules. Because
Get your ass down.
we have been loving black men since we got off the plantation.
I agree.
No other group of women have been so loyal as the black woman. We have stuck beside black men from every fight, every slave revolt, every movement, every protest. We even organized stuff. BLM was an organization to help black men with police brutality, but simply because those sisters was lesbians, black men turned their back on them and talked about them like dogs. And all those sisters did was try to love and show support. And they got treated and they got pissed on because of their sexuality. But they were still sisters. looking out for brothers.
I understand.
You see what I mean?
Of
So
course I
when
do.
this happened time after time after time after time after time, and your love ain't working, then you have to remove that love. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and seeing that it ain't working. Us loving on y'all ain't working. It's not working. Right
If
now,
I may.
we got a whole a group of people talking about single moms and all this other kind of stuff. You got black men who saying that black women didn't do anything for the community, and we totally destroyed it and everything like that. After all that blood work, sweat, and tears and prayers that we and our foremothers put into this community, and to be treated and talked to that way, we loved we love we when I say we, the love that we have showed, even everybody knows how much we love the black men. White men don't even come and talk to us because they know that the average black woman ain't leaving the black man in the black community. That's how much we've loved y'all, to be treated the way we are getting treated right now. So no, love don't work all the time. And then with love don't work, you got to remove that love and go somewhere else. And that's what the 4B is. But I gotta go. I sure thank you for having me up, sir. I'm gonna
It's been a
follow
pleasure speaking with you.
you too.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the discussion.
Host, is there anything else I can do to be of service? Any other questions that I may answer?
That 4G, if not did 4G movement, the one the guys starting a retaliation for 4B. Do you know what that one is?
I have not heard of it, but I'm not at all surprised.
I'm looking at videos on it. It's a retaliation to the 4B movement, and guys are saying,
Is it simply the same idea that men are going to be celibate and not interact with women in a romantic or sexual context?
yeah,
Oh,
no
fantastic.
doing the nasty, no time, no provision, no babies.
Fantastic. I think that's a lot of what our world needs right now. It's
What's the
time for
no
each
provision
man.
thing? They're not gonna look out for women, because if that's the case, a
Oh, I
lot of women
see.
already ain't looked out for.
Yes, we'll recognize, if you will, that these men, these humans who are acting in this way, oh, well, you're going to do this, well, I'll do that. What does that sound like? Does that sound like an adult or a child?
Nope. Sounds like a child. And
Most of,
before you get
yes,
on your points, I was looking at, like, scrolling through TikTok, searching Google. It was this older dude. He had gray hair in his beard, black man, and he was bald. He was like, I started the 4G movement. I didn't start my pay, da da da. It's some old guy.
yes, he is childish.
That creator. He's
He
just old.
literally
Nothing
does
wrong with
not
him.
know how to listen. He does not know how to have compassion and empathy and understanding for others. That's a child in a man's body. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because of many, many, many factors that we don't have to get into, but we all know: systemic racism, slavery, the whole deal, the way the community, the black community specifically, was corrupted in the 60s and then 70s and then on and on and on. Recognize that these young men literally do not know how to be men. And people say, oh, we need a man to teach a man. And I understand where that's coming from. Most men don't know how to be men. Most men are childish because of the system that we have all collectively set up. Most men, again, believe their power is in schmecks and in women, in money, and in fame and glory and a whole bunch of nonsense that will never make you happy, will never fulfill you. So when we talk about having these conversations with these young men, it may help for people to come at them as if they're children. Now, I don't mean condescend to them and speak to them that way, because they do not see themselves as children. But if they don't understand something, or like Q, the young man who was on before me, decides after a little while, because his literal emotional capacity to be patient and be calm and just take a little bit of hits, if you will, was so low that he felt the need to rebel after 5 minutes, that's a child. No less, no less valuable. All the gifts he's ever had, he can give. I love him no less, but that's a child. Adults know how to have conversations. Adults know how to put plan into action. Children don't. How could you possibly expect a child in an adult body to be more than a child in a child's body? You understand? This is the type of love that I was speaking about. Teaching people through the love that you have for yourself, the love that you radiate from yourself, how to be. You understand? In the civil rights movement, we had black leaders who were, in their beingness, love. to the white man and to the black man, to the white woman and to the black woman. And did some of them lose their lives? Yes. Even Jesus, if you will, Yeshua lost his life with all the love that he radiated. Clearly, that's what we're still exploring as humanity right now. Clearly, we're still playing with the tools of anger and unaliving, and that's all right. We'll let it go when we're ready to. But the only way to actually change these things systemically, of course, is to change the legislation, but individually, if the opportunity arises. And this means in a safe environment. If you don't think it's safe, then the opportunity hasn't arrived. In an environment where someone is actually willing to listen. If they're not willing to listen, then the opportunity hasn't arrived. That's a child still putting his or her fingers in her ears and going, la, 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 I can't hear you. I'm right and you're wrong. That's a child. Don't talk to children. Don't waste your time on children. All right, child, when you're ready, the adults will be here ready for your contribution to this conversation. You understand? But when the opportunity arises, much like on TikTok, more and more, and the reason the conversations haven't been as expansive as they could be is because, as you know, most people don't know how to have a conversation. White, black, man, woman, it doesn't matter. Most people don't know how to not interrupt each other. Most people don't know how to hear something they disagree with and let that just be okay. Oh, here's something we disagree on. That's fine. The woman before us, we very much disagree on that. Love is enough. I believe it's enough. She doesn't. That's okay. I don't hate her anymore. I don't need to go start a movement about it.
Yeah, I be in a lot of lives. I've been like, I don't participate, but I just be in the room, seeing the room move, different people come up. Those lives, certain lives get really, really toxic.
Yes, because most people don't know how to be adults,
Mm-hmm. And
how
the
to be
crazy
themselves
thing,
and let that be enough. You understand? They feel they
mm-hmm.
must defend. They feel they must hurt. They feel they must fear. They feel that they cannot love because if I love you and you hurt me, then what was the point of my love in the first place? The point of love is not exchange. The point of unconditional love is much like a parent. I will love you unconditionally. This doesn't mean I'll allow anything to happen. That's not unconditional love. It simply means, hey, if you want to explore certain paths of hurting, oppressing women, being immature, not knowing yourself, assuming every emotion you've ever felt is just anger and then acting on that anger, I support you. Go explore that and experience the consequences that come with that path. But recognize not all paths include me. And clearly, more and more men are picking paths that don't include women. That's unconditional love, which is why I said I don't at all disagree with this movement.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it either, dog. Cause like I be on TikTok, and I ain't the best looking individual,
If you
but
say
you know, I
so.
grew like I had a lot of friends that were girls and a lot of guy friends, but you know, I cater more to having female friends. I'm a straight man, by the way, so I know how it is. I understand, bro. And then I done talked to, I won't say a lot of women on TikTok, but you know, I done been in some lives, held some panels, you know, so
Yes.
I
If I
understand.
may, what you just said is a perfect example of one of the thoughts and then the actions of you saying it out loud that many men and women, of course, feel about themselves. That's not love. My friend, you are gorgeous. You are beautiful. Your skin radiates a obsidian like intensity. It's gorgeous. You are beautiful in every facet of your being. And I am so sorry, though I know you chose it, that anyone told you anything differently.
And
Many
I'm gonna
men
say this right
believe, many women believe that their physical body is all that they are, all that they can
here.
offer. If people don't appreciate them for that, well, I guess I'm not enough. Better take what I can get. These are the types of disempowering beliefs and experiences that create the society that we continuously, moment by moment by moment by moment, continually choose to perpetuate. When people say, lift up your man, that's what I'm doing right now. You are enough, my friend, as is
And
every man that's ever come in this live.
and I want to say this too. I have a female best friend I've never been intimate with, never dated, strictly platonically friends. So, what's the point I'm trying to make?
Well, take your
Uh,
time. I'm in no rush.
damn, I forgot the point. Uh, so I know. So, damn, I forgot the point. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that's okay. Do you know what it was about in general?
So basically, I understand that one individual, but I get where I understand women to an extent. To an extent.
What don't you, or what don't you think you understand about women?
Uh, well, I know all of them want to be loved, respected,
Okay.
I
Do
know
you
that
want to be
everyone
loved
is
and
not the
respected?
same, but I know women are the same in one aspect.
Well, do
Love,
you
they
want to
want to
be
be
loved and
loved,
respected, friend?
respected, heard.
Do you want to be loved, respected, and heard?
Yes.
Then you understand women. These are some of the ideas of also how we choose to separate ourselves by believing we're so different. Women are like this, men are like that. And while I recognize there is clearly a type of
Don't get me wrong. I
energetic
know we're
difference
humans.
in general, but that's the type of separation we talk about. You understand women as much as you need to understand women. Have you experienced everything a woman has? Probably not. But if you choose
Damn.
to listen to them, they can say, this is what happened and this is how I felt. You can understand feelings as all men can if they're willing to listen. And if they can't understand that feeling, what does that mean? They're children. Children don't understand empathy. They don't understand compassion like an adult is. Their brains literally don't have as much a capacity to feel that, to radiate that. So we understand each other perfectly. We just need to listen. We just need to validate each other's words and not
Hmm.
take it all so personally. Even I, as I told you, take some things way more personally than I need to. All men ain't shit. That has nothing to do with me. I know I'm the shit. You don't have to believe me.
Yeah, I'll be taking it personal, dog, when they be in them live bashing men, because I don't fit that description.
Exactly. But
The
many
all the
men,
men
being
that's getting
children, have no
upset,
clue what to do with that input.
yeah, all the men that's getting upset, taking offense to it, maybe they like a hit dog or holler.
Exactly. And you understand those men, not only are they children in their minds, but they don't know themselves. They
Hmm.
too listen to everything that society says about them. Men should be this, men should be that. You have to make money and provide. You have to have all the women that you can attain. You have to be attractive. You have to be big. You have to play sports. You have to do. That's not true.
That's sort of kind of like a misogynistic take on it. Cause I be hearing stuff like that in them red pill lives. Men need to be this. Like the only when it comes to the red pill, the only thing I can get behind, bro. Cause I done watched like over the years, my years of living, I've consumed a lot of red pill content. Not for the dating world, for entertainment. It's entertainment to me, cause I know these people playing a character. Like Fresh and Fit, for example.
Yes.
Look at one of them dudes. They got this Instagram model pregnant, and they preach you need to before don't get married, and you need to have sex with this amount of women before you get into a relationship. Look at that dude got that Instagram woman pregnant, and they be preaching don't date Instagram models and OnlyFans models and protect your
Yes.
seed.
That's a child in a
They
man's body.
king.
That's a
Look
perfect
at they
example of
king.
two little boys in grown men's bodies. That's why I don't listen to their podcast,
Oh,
because it's
I've been
very
stopped listening to their
clearly
podcast.
childish. Listening to it for 5 minutes, I can go, these are children. They have no clue what they're talking about.
And
Have
then when
fun
I
playing your
was
game.
watching a lot of their stuff, it was the same thing. They had these women from all across the world that ain't that old, maybe have a few that's older, and they don't do nothing but degrade them, talk crazy to them,
What's your
threaten
body
them.
count? What's your body count? No, see,
As
it's
an
over one.
adult, body
You're a
count
slut.
shouldn't matter.
Nonsense. A bunch of
I
childish nonsense.
Cause I don't ask women they body. I got homeboys, and I be talking to my homeboys, my brothers. They're like, you don't ask a woman they body count. That's the quickest way to get you ghosted, blocked, cussed out. So
Of
I don't
course.
ask. I like to be honest, I only asked one like my whole 29 years of living, talking to them. I only asked one woman her body count, and
And you
I swear,
understand,
and
if you
I
will,
already knew what the number was gonna be. The number either gonna be 1, 3, 5. I know some women lie about it, some women don't, but it
that
doesn't matter if
also
they
has to
lie
do
about
with
it or
the
not.
idea of the sexual, or excuse me, smexual energy and the systemic smexual laws and things that we teach ourselves. If we
Mm-hmm.
were in a holistic system, we no one would care.
Mm-hmm.
No one would care at all. It wouldn't matter. Oh, you've had a few people? Great, good for you. Hope you have a good time. Can't wait to explore this with you as well. Of course, you're attractive. No, of course, it would make sense that of 8 billion souls, someone would want to hook up with you. Maybe that's just okay. You'll also recognize there's nothing inherently wrong with asking that question. It depends on how you go about it. Oh, well, what's your body count? Are you some slut? Okay, automatically you are degrading. Automatically you are condescending. If you simply went about it like, hey, this is our third date. Smex is something that's very sacred to me. Smex is something that I really value being very intimate between two people, and I simply don't prefer having that type of experience with someone who does not value it in that way.
So,
Do you value it in that way? And if the answer is no, not really, I'm okay to just kind of sleep around sometimes, then you don't have to co-create with that person. But you don't
so
have to judge or
guys,
negate
he
them.
just gave y'all the key on how to ask. It's about how you ask, how you word it, how you phrase it. He just gave y'all the key on how to ask. If y'all, well, 4 people in here, I ain't about to really watch it, but he just gave y'all
That's
the key.
enough. The people in here are the ones that need to be here. Believe and trust that, if
So
you
he
will.
just gave y'all the key.
One of them, but it's not so much the specifics on how to do it, it's the energy used.
Mm-hmm.
If you go about it with negative energy of degrading, of condescending, of judging, that's what you'll get back in return. If you go about it with love, compassion, and care for yourself and others, that's what you'll get back in return. It's that simple. This is how I want to treat sex. Do you want to treat it the same way? Yes or no? Oh, no, thank you. Okay. I hope you find what works for you. This has been a great first few dates. You have a nice day. It can be that simple, but when either side takes it as personally as they can, this is when problems begin to arise.
Yeah, you ain't got to body shame her because you done been with this person, that person. Long as she ain't been with one of your friends in the past and you trying to talk to her and find out about it, it still don't shame her, you feel me?
Of course. Even then, it could
Long as
just
she
be
ain't been
simply,
with
oh, I don't
people
want to
you
hook up
know
with people who have
personal.
been with my friends. Just not what I'm interested in. Thank you, though.
Mm-hmm. Ego gets in the way. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Me being an adult, if I wanted to talk to somebody I graduated with, and I find out she been with one of my friends, even though it's in the past, it's still gonna be like, for example, I got a homeboy that's I graduated with. He dated a girl, and she dated after they dated for however long. She ended up dating his brother. I know this girl. I wouldn't date her because she dated my homeboy, and the brother that she dated that wasn't my homeboy, was my god brother.
Yes,
I know it's in the past, but I still wouldn't date her. She a good person or whatever,
of
but I
course,
still
she
wouldn't
is your
date her.
sister in creation. She dated someone you would prefer not to co-create with her. Okay, it could be that simple. Oh, that's just
Notice
not what
I
I
didn't
prefer.
slut
Thank you,
shame
though.
her. I didn't say she nasty for dating 2 brothers. You feel me? It's no point. She
And
just
anyone that
keep her close.
would, if women choose to see it this way, you'll recognize any man that would is a child. There's no need to interact with them in the first place.
Oh, I don't. We just graduated together.
No, I know. I'm speaking to women specifically in general. If you are co-creating with a man that you now know is childish based on how they choose to speak about women and understand, stop co-creating with them. Oh, women can't do that all the time. Sometimes there are family members or our bosses. I understand that. If you have to interact with them, do it as minimally as you can. And
Mm-hmm.
recognize anything they say, see it as if they were a child. You wouldn't get offended if a child says something rude. You'd be like, they're a child. One day, hopefully, they'll grow. And if not, it won't matter because they're a child. I'm not a child. I'm an adult. My place is with adult people. Even if you look like an adult but act like a child, you're a child. Have fun with your children friends.
Mm-hmm.
And if the opportunity arises, safely, calmly, with integrity for all best involved, give, if you are willing, if you can, give them an opportunity to speak with an adult about adult things. Show them how conversations can go. At every disrespectful remark, at every angry retort or insult, show them that that doesn't bother you, if you wish. And again, you don't have to. I'm not forcing anyone to do this. This is just what I do. This is what works for me. But I guarantee if some women, again, not that the problem's all on their shoulders, I agree the conversations you and I and other young men are having are important, of course. But recognize, excuse me, one moment. Recognize all the men in the world could talk to every man they know and have these types of conversations, and men would still suck in general.
Yep.
There would be men who are childish, who don't know actually how to have a conversation. Even if their brother, their uncle, their father told them, you're going about it in a disrespectful way, we need to have better conversations, they don't actually know
They
how.
call you a pander, a simp.
Of course, because they are childish. So that's why I say we all have to uplift each other. And I totally understand what that woman was saying about women have been there, and I agree. And I agree that this is one way in which I'm with you, but I'm separated. We're together, but there's a glass wall for now. There's nothing wrong with that either. But even that is included in women changing. You understand? And if women change, men will change. Men will change if women change.
Mhm.
We'll all uplift each other. You understand? Like you said, you've been on those types of lives where women are insulting men.
And men insulting. I've been on both sides. I ain't participating,
Exactly.
but I've
That will
seen.
never, ever, ever, ever change anything. Because the only reason these men are acting the way they are is because they do not love themselves. They do not know themselves. They literally don't know there's a better option. Because in their reality, in their universe, in the life that they have lived, this is the way it is. Everyone knows that.
Mhm.
This is how it is. You will have to, if you wish, reflect to them a better choice. Reflect to the child they can be an adult, and it's time to put down childish things. And
Mhm.
if they choose not to, that has nothing to do with you.
Exactly, because
That
some of
has
these
everything
people,
to do with them.
just people in general, they stuck in their ways. They don't want to learn nothing new. They don't want to adjust to the times. Because it's people on here that probably use this slur, say this word, that word, and we're in 2024, and you tell them, hey, bro, you can't say that because this is why, and they still gonna choose to talk like that.
They're childish.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't a child do that? Hey, buddy, we don't say those words around here. Ah, hee, 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 shit. Ah, hee, hee, hee. That's a child. Oh, okay, you want to be childish? Have fun. Leave the live immediately. What more is there to be said?
Mm-hmm. Hey, shout out to the 10 people in here. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, shut a live. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here, cause I gotta get ready to go later on today, help my people out with some stuff. But appreciate the roses. If anybody else wanna come up and speak, feel free to come up and speak. Appreciate the follow.
If anyone has any questions for me, or host, if there's anything else you'd like me to speak on or ask of me or share with me, I'm happy to
Mhm.
do so, but I've been up here for a while. It may be the time for our co-creation to end. Is there anything that I may do to be of service?
Anybody got any questions for homie up here? Unity.
Can I DM you? Yes, of course you can. My DMs are always open.
They choose the easiest. Who chooses the easiest?
They're talking
Your
about men.
response. The 4G movement. That what you want to talk about, Jesse? The 4G movement, lame, bro. I feel like it's lame. It's a counter react movement to the women's 4B movement, which didn't need a counter reaction. Cause y'all talk about how these women gonna get turned into a Fortnite reboot card and be alone with their dogs and keep their legs closed and all that other crap. 4G movement is proof they follow woman's lead. Say it again for the people in the back. Yeah, they talk about how women are gonna get turned into a Fortnite reboot card and be alone with their pets and keep your legs closed. And oh, bro, what be the funniest and most messed up is when they get on them single mothers. Why y'all talking about these single mothers, huh? What them single mothers did to you? I understand you had a bad experience with a single mother, or you got bad experiences with black women. Cool. Maybe you talking to the wrong black women. You want to leave the country because you got bad experiences with women. Cool, do that. But you ain't got to bash them. That's why the women had such a big problem with the passport bros. They didn't care about y'all going to these other countries getting these type of women. They just didn't want to be bashed. And every time, like, because I used to be into that passport bros, passport bros content. I used to watch it. It was entertaining. I ain't never get on the live talking about some, hey man, these women in the West, this, that. Get to pass. Because every time you look at one of them passport bros, I'm not saying it's all their videos, but a lot of their videos, they talking about come over here and they showing their experience and interactions with the women over there. They're like, hey man, this is why you got to leave the West. The women in the West like this. They uncontrollable. They not feminine. They not this. They not that. Come over here, get your passport. You ain't got to do all that, bro. Just get your passport, go learn that other language, and be happy over there. And bring her back over here and watch how she take your money and deal. Not saying that's gonna happen all the time, but that's what I think gonna happen.
And this will be the last thing I say, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
When I spoke earlier about how women don't treat men very well, and again, that's not the end of the statement. This is a very complex conversation we're having, a very
Mm-hmm.
complex reflection we're having on ourselves as human. But not only is it the insults, what I mean is in those lives where they speak about how men need to be this, you have to be a provider, you have to pay for everything. These perpetuate the beliefs that keep men oppressed. And because men specifically simultaneously have the beliefs that they should hurt when they feel hurt. When you have a group of men that feel oppressed in that way, what else are they going to do? They
Mm-hmm.
already feel the pressure, their own unique pressure to men about what they should and should not be in society. Just like women feel their own unique pressure on what they should and should not be in society. When men perpetuate that pressure by saying, I need a woman who's quote unquote more feminine. She's got to cook and clean. She needs to have babies and stay at home. All these typical
See,
things,
that's
which,
kind
yes,
of like that's kind of sort of fit into that misogynistic thing right there, man. If you gonna look for if that's what you want out of a woman, you gotta go find it. You
and
go
be
find,
respectful about it, because
talk
there
to
are
her.
women who would want that kind of
Yes.
relationship, but not because they have to have that relationship, but because
Mm-hmm.
it's a choice. There are men who would have no problem simply providing in that way for their family and being more stoic because that's just how they are naturally. The oppression and the pressure comes when you have a man, for example, like me, who has no problem showing their emotion, who does not
Mm-hmm.
care about money in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Those types of men have been told, much like women, that, oh, but this is what makes you a man. If you don't do this,
Yep.
you're not a man. And if you're not a
Mm-hmm.
man, you're not enough. And if you're not enough, well, you might as well make sure everyone else feels like they're not enough too. This is
Mm-hmm.
an example of what I mean by women are not powerless ever, much like black people are not powerless ever, even if it's one statement that is power. And we will not change until we see what power really is, because the
Mm-hmm.
greatest powers have the lightest of touches. It can be as simple as, hey, young man, you don't actually have to be what they told you have to be.
Yep.
It's okay to cry because your friend passed away.
Yep.
It's okay to be hurt that she cheated on you, that she hurt you. You don't have to go and hurt other people because of that. It's okay to have dreams of being, let's just say, a baker, ballet, an artist of some kind. It's okay to do that. You don't have to make the most money all the time, forever, for everyone. It's okay to be who you are.
Yes.
And we allow people to be who they are, we will live in a completely different world.
Yes. And guys, for the 12 people that's in here, the whole stay at home thing, it don't matter who do it. You do what works best for your relationship. That all it is communication. Internet has ruined people's view on relationships and relationships in general.
I thank you so much.
Yes, on the person themselves and how they grew up, but the internet plays a big part in how relationships are ruined.
I thank you so much, my friend, my brother, for allowing me to come up and share my ideas, share my perspective. I thank you for being respectful yourself and holding the space for us to have these conversations, because it can't get done without both sides.
Appreciate you, bro.
Until we speak again, if we should speak again, please be well in your dance.
You too, man. Be easy. Be safe out there. That was a great conversation. He was a cool dude, very respectful. If I could see more lives like this, going to more lives like this, because a lot of them, man, they be getting out of hand. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be live before I gotta go get ready. So if anybody else want to come up and speak, share their opinion, let me know. Appreciate the follows and the shares and the gifts. And if anybody else planning on coming up, make sure you use TikTok friendly language, please and thank you. But I appreciate the 12 that's up here rocking with me. I really appreciate it. There's a Cash App goal over there. I don't really care for hitting the Cash App goal or the gift goal. I really don't care. Just here for the conversation of how we can change people's views on things if we can, or influence better within the world. But shout out to the 7 people that's here. So if anybody else want to come up, feel free to come up. And the topics are up there. I got my computer and my Google pulled up if anybody got questions. And no, I'm not a panderer. I'm not a simp. I'm not a male feminist. I'm just a guy who understands and just been listening. See, I'm a civilian. You feel me? I am a civilian. And by civilian, I mean, I don't pick sides. I'm my own person. I'm my own side. I just listen. Like how the ninjas be in the animes and them kung fu movies. They got their hoods on. They chilling in the shadows, watching things. Yeah, I'm chilling in the shadows with my hoodie on, watching my surroundings. Heck yeah, civilian just existing in society and seeing what's going on. Exactly. The real relationships today aren't even talked about on TikTok. I already know it. See, me personally, when it's time for me when I find that right person, I get into it. Yes, observer. I get into a relationship. I'm trying to keep it off social media. Cause boy, I done seen social media relationships, celebrity relationships. If these celebrities getting cheated on, these celebrities got these problems going on. How you think it's gonna be for a normal person? My mom and dad, they both work. They're both tired, LOL. Yeah. You feel me? Both my parents work too. They retired now. So with the whole relationship things, since it's up here and we on the topic of relationship, I feel like the honest reason a lot of relationships are not working is one, social media, trust issues, communication. And some people rush into relationships. They don't really be liking that person like that. Cause I remember one time I was talking to a person for 3 months. I was liking the attention. I thought it was somebody I wanted to end up being with. I ended up getting ghosted anyway. But that just goes so we weren't all really that interested in somebody. Because when you're interested, when you both like something, like when people are both equally interested, there's no problem of being on the phone talking about nothing. You don't get annoyed when you talk to them. It's too much following what other people do instead of thinking for themselves. Yes. Oh, such and such just bought his girl a Birkin bag, and the only thing you got me to be grateful. If you're going to spend money on each other, spend money on each other and don't hold it above each other's head. If you generally don't care for that person, don't get into the relationship. See, with relationships, one thing you got to know, you have to be equal. Both you have to see each other as equal, respect each other, love each other, and hear each other out. You feel me? Then you have to see if your morals line up. Your morals, your religion, your hobbies don't have to match up. The most important thing is how you treat each other, how you talk to each other, morals. Then you get into the boundaries. People are too greedy nowadays. That too. Especially celebrities or who's popping. I ain't never really get into the whole, some people be in relationships and be like, oh, this couple relationship goals. I want to be just like them. We just seeing what they put out. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Me and my man met in our early 20s. We were both broke and young, LOL. True love story. Goes hand in hand with individuality.
Hi,
Hey,
can you hear me?
so I can hear you. I said, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, so I was looking at your questions, and I think the 4B movement obviously started in Korea, and it's a response to the rampant misogyny that exists over that women are plagued with over there.
Before you get into it, I already know. I looked it up on Google. I don't know how long you been in here, but I already know. Go ahead and let the people who don't know. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay, so there were a lot of things happening in Korea, like, for example, men were putting cameras on women's bathrooms, women's lockers, things like that. And when women reported men, they wouldn't really get punished for it. They would kind of get like a slap in the wrist and kind of moved on. And in the same occasion, this woman took a picture of a model, a nude model on on an art class, and she posted the photo, which was wrong, but she got 10 months in prison compared to the slap in the wrist that men usually get. And that's one of the examples of, you know, the escalation of this movement. There was also a novel that was published, and it talked about the experience of, you know, of a woman in Korea, and, you know, her life in amidst of misogyny. And just in general, you know, women have been trying to assert some sort of control over their lives and over their and they want to be listened to, but they haven't been listened to for a very long time. And so women, you know, decided to, you know, live by this four rules, which is, you know, no sex with men, no dating men, no relationships with men, and no having children with men. And I think in no marriage to man either. I think that's what it stands for. It's been, you know, and it's kind of spread to the West, spread to the US, and the ideology is being adopted. And it has to do a lot with, you know, there have been a lot of women have had multiple conversations with men, you know, on this platform, on other platforms. They've protested, they've made movements, they've had conversations, and instead of being listened to, there's always kind of like a backlash or a counter movement coming from men. And, you know, instead of continuing to trying to engage men and trying to get change from men, women have just disengaged from men and stopped centering men in their lives. And, you know, this is what the 4B movement is about. It's about decentering man from your life, you know, and it's because, you know, I feel like it's a reaction of frustration and understanding, and a reaction of coming to terms with the fact that, you know, women may end up single, you know, because men are not kind of, you know, getting getting themselves together, you know, putting them, you know, doing the work that is needed in order to be in a place where women would actually want to date them and want to have a family with them. Women are tired of talking, of making themselves of making the same points over and over and over again, and being met with resistance instead of understanding. And I think that that's why they are deciding to disengage from men, because it's exactly, this is why they're deciding to disengage from men. And I think men feel threatened by this, because in this particular culture, women have always been taught to center man. Men has always been, you know, marriage and a family and a romantic relationship has always been, you know, has been what is taught and pushed and to women for generations. It was our only choice. Marriage and family was our only choice for a very long time. And now women with this new relatively new power are deciding that no, their life, marriage and children and romantic love, it doesn't have to be at the center of their lives. There are other choices, there are other options in order to be happy and happy with themselves. So and I think that man needs to rise up to the occasion and understand that women have done a lot of work, a lot of emotional work. We've gone to therapy, we've worked on ourselves, and we've gone to college, we've worked on our careers, and we're understanding that, you know, romantic love, yeah, it would be great to have it, but we're not going to settle for just anyone in order to have that. It doesn't work that way. And I think the response from man has been kind of like outrage, or, you know, making fun of women who are participating by calling them unattractive, or just, you know, plain anger. And men don't understand that women are in a point where we just don't have the same priorities that we had, because that's not our only choice anymore. It's not our only choice anymore. And in the
Mm-hmm.
same way that man can find happiness and meaning in other things besides from marriage and a relationship, so can women. So can women, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And then your other question is like, why are men not holding each other accountable? Because men are used to protecting each other. Men were raised to protect each other no matter what. Men have, you know, as women were taught to compete with each other, men were taught to protect each other. And you know, women are often seen as a, what is the word that I'm looking for? As a commodity, as something to have, as of where the relationships that men build with each other, you know, they're brothers, they're for life, they're loyal, they're, you know, they see each other as equal, as to when, as they don't necessarily see women as equal. I'm not saying that this is all men, but a lot of men, even in this platform, express that they don't see women as equal to them, you know? And so, and I think the reason why relationships are no longer working out is because before, you had people who were just toxic. You know, you had people who were just really toxic, and they lived in that toxicity and they accepted that toxicity, right? You had, and more than that, you know, you had marriages where women had to just stay, you know, they couldn't divorce. They had to stay there. They didn't have the financial ability to be independent. You know, up until the 70s, women didn't have access to bank accounts or credit cards. They needed a man's signature for all of that. And so women were trapped because they were treated like children and they were dependent in man. And so, you know, now that there's not that codependency, women are not allowing, or are not staying in relationships that are toxic or abusive or unhealthy, because they have options, they have choices. And you know, I think that there are a lot of movements happening right now, and we're seeing a clash in society, right? We have this really this movement of men who want to uphold to traditional values and want to take us back to the 1950s. But we have to remember that in the 1950s, women didn't have rights. Women did not have rights, and women were treated like children, and men were allowed to spank women and reprimand them physically. You know, they're trying, and as much as they refuse to admit it, they're trying to take women to a point where they were treated as children, and we're not children.
Mm-hmm.
We're educated.
Adults and should be
We're
treated.
adults. We're educated, and we are, you know, we are, you know, as much as they want to call us emotional beings, you know, we're very, we have worked on our intellect through getting an education. You know, there's a lot to say about this, but I think that the most important, I think that if men are feeling threatened by this movement, then they should really examine themselves. Because if they upheld themselves to a standard where women, you know, the standard that women is looking for in men, then they have nothing to be threatened about. It's that it's when they don't uphold themselves to a high standard. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about, you know, like having six figures or being able to maintain a woman. Women, you know, there are some women that are looking for that, but majority of women just want a partner. Majority of women just want
Mm-hmm.
someone who will take the reins of their lives together and build together. And you know, a lot of what we see in marriages is that, you know, a woman gets married, she has to go to work because of the type of economy that we live in, and then she has to take care of all the household chores, and she has to take care of all of the raising of children. And it is insane because they're married single women. And women, you know, women are seeing the kind of life and the kind of um, treatment that married women are getting, and they don't want to get into that. They don't want to get into that. Um, you know, my other thought is that women are learning from each other. How many single moms? Now, how many stay-at-home moms that are dependent on their husbands and stay years at home, lose years of experience at work, find themselves replaced by, you know, by a younger woman when their husband, you know, gets tired of them, and then have to start from zero
That's
and have
crazy.
nothing to show for, you know? It's like they want us to depend on man. They want us to be subservient to man. But what has life taught us? Life has taught us that that is not the wise thing to do, because over and over and over again, we get screwed when we do that. Pardon me, but that's what happens. And a man that doesn't see you as an equal, a man that only puts value on your youth, a man that only puts value on how many people you've slept with, a man that only puts value on anything but your intellect and your personality and what you're able to bring to the table, is a man that can replace you in a second.
Those them red pill talking points right there that you gonna see in a lot of red pill lives.
And like, if a man is putting a number on you, and they're saying that women's number naturally go down, how in the how are you going to trust this man? They're telling you that your value is going to go down as you
Mm-hmm.
dedicate your life to them, and they're telling you that their value only goes up, so they can always get a younger, better, higher, value person than you.
With a lower body count,
Mm-hmm.
and women hit their prime at 30, or they prime. Wait, no, they something about women losing value when they hit 30 or something like that, or they not as attractive at 30 than they were at 18 and all that.
And the thing is, like, that is, that's a sack of BS. Women's value is not placed on any of that stuff. But that's what they want us to believe, because men like women with low self-esteem, because they can manipulate them. I should go back a little bit. Men like strong, independent women that they can beat down and turn them into insecure women. And why do I say that? Because that's kind of like, oh, what are you saying, Adri? Where are you getting this from? But it's the truth, because men look for those qualities in a woman. They like those qualities in a woman, but then they want women to be subservient to them, and they don't want women to show up in that way in their marriage or in their relationships. I don't know. It's scary to me that control over women is becoming, controlling a woman is becoming a trend is becoming a trend that that you know it's we're living in pretty backwards times. We're living in pretty backward times, and we're losing rights as women every day. We're losing out our bodily autonomy every day in this country. We are, we are being subjected. All of the rights that we had to fight for are being systematically taken away from us, and men are acting like this is a good thing, or not reacting at all. Women are being attacked, and I know that sounds extreme, but it is the truth.
Yeah,
Our
that's the
bodily
truth.
autonomy rights are being put under debate and are being taken away. Women, they're trying to overturn no cost divorce. So you can't just get divorced. Women are not going to be able to just get divorced because they no longer, there's going to have to be a reason behind it. Some sort of reason, and a judge can stand there and tell you, oh, no, you can get a divorce, right? They're pushing for things like this in this country right now. And this is why you have a 4B movement.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just,
I support the
what
4B
are we going to
movement
do?
too. I
What was
support.
that?
I say I support the 4B movement.
Yes, I mean, and if you're a man of integrity, and if you're a man that sees women as an equal, and if you're a man that respects women, and if you're a man that is aware of women's issues, and if you're a man that doesn't abuse women, or if you're a man that doesn't see women as objects, then you shouldn't have a problem with the 4B movement, because you understand what women are walking away from.
All right, so I just had this to say. So, as a man, how can you not see a woman as an equal? Let's break this down. How can you not see a woman as an equal? Okay, body parts are different. Body parts are different, but let's break it down. We both grow old. We both have blood in our bodies. And how are we not equal? Our body parts different. Our brains probably, a little different, but they still the same. Emotions, everybody got the same emotions. We just let them out differently. I know one is stronger than the other, but
Well,
you know
stronger
what?
for some things, right? Because
Yeah,
a
something.
woman's bodily, the woman's anatomy is really strong if you think about it. We can go through childbirth. That's something that man
You
can't
can't do
do.
that. You can't do that.
You know, and it's like we're strong in different ways because we were developed to do different functions. But
Mm.
does that mean that we're limited to the functions that biologically we were created, we were evolved to do? And the answer is no, because we have the same capacity, the same brain capacity as man. We have the same brain capacity as man. And if we were just meant to birth children and be nurturers, then we wouldn't have the same brain capacity as man.
Mm-hmm.
We would be limited to just birthing, and that's that. But that's not the case.
But yeah, I believe men and women are equal because I came from a married household. Both my parents are married. and they growing old together. And I know what true love, real love look like. If somebody views somebody as less than, a marriage ain't gonna work. They gonna have some problems.
And the
Oh
thing
no.
is like,
Oh yeah, go ahead, go
and
ahead.
the, yeah, and the thing is like, you know, I went through a lot of heartache dating, and not just heartache in the terms of breakups and stuff like that. I went through violence and I went through abuse. And that's what women experience when they put
Sorry you had
themselves
to go
out
through
there.
that.
You know, that's what women experience when they put themselves out there. I took myself off the market completely, and then I met my husband. You know, I am married, but it took me a very long time and a lot of you know, and the right person and the right partner for me to even consider having a relationship, let alone get married to someone. And the problem is with these young men that are, you know, that are, you know, coming forward, demanding respect from women, demanding women to be submissive, demanding control over women. The problem with this young man is that they are not doing the emotional work, the introspective work that women are doing. You can't demand respect out of someone that you deem unequal. If you can't see a woman's value outside of the pleasure that you can get out of it, outside of the children that she can provide for you, outside of the housework that she can do for you, if you can't see the value of a woman, then you don't understand women.
Mm-hmm. I understand the housework thing. Two people can do the housework. One person just ain't got to do all the housework. Two people can do the housework.
They want
Two people can
mothers.
do the cleaning too.
Yeah, they want a mom. They
Mm-hmm.
want to uphold the system that they had in their house when their mom took care of them, but they want, you know, and they want the benefits, the sexual benefits of what a partner could give them, but they still want a mom.
You can't have a mom and a partner, dog. That
Yeah.
it don't work like that.
You know,
Not have a mom and a partner. It do not work like that.
you know, but you know, I hope, I have hope in man. You know, I say all of this and I am hopeful that men are gonna get it together. Men are gonna get it together because otherwise they're not going to have access to women.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of men that don't have access to women anyway.
Yeah. And
That's
they
why they
say,
hate
oh,
the
I don't,
4B movement so much. And the reason you don't have access to women because you don't know how to talk to women. Let me see. You don't know how to talk to women. You probably don't have no social skills. You don't know how to treat a woman. Um, you probably disrespectful.
yeah.
And when a woman says, "Hey," it could be the smallest, silliest thing. Hey, well, when you're around me or you're talking to me, or don't use the word female. Like, don't use the word female. And niggas be like, "Man, you tripping, bro." Respect it, bro. If anything, distance yourself. If you can't do it, distance yourself. Leave that person alone. If a person asks you to do something and you can't do it, just leave them alone. Don't talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
But men were not taught to accept rejection.
Hmm?
Men were taught that they were the center of the woman's life.
If you grew up
Men
pagan,
were
you'll think
taught
a little
that,
different about the whole rejection thing. But yeah, you're right. It depends on how they taught and come up to.
you know, but society, because You can be taught some things in society, but let's talk Hollywood. Like up until recently, like all movies were centered around white cis men, their stories, their iteration of their lives, and women were just a supporting character. And they think that's life. And it doesn't work like that. I'm not a supporting character. I'm living my own life. And either we're here together to witness each other's lives, to witness each other's success, to do it in partnership, or I'm out.
It's a team thing. A relationship is a team thing. It's a partnership and a team. Team and partnership. It's a team and it's teamwork. Partnership is both.
And I feel really sad. I have 2 daughters, and I worry about them constantly. Because the world keeps trying, this man keeps trying to devalue my daughters. They keep trying to devalue my daughters. And, young women nowadays, they understand. They've grieved the relationship that they thought they would have. That's what men don't understand. Women have gone through the grieving process of understanding that they might end up alone. They've already been through the grieving process of understanding that they might end up single and may not fulfill that romantic relationship. And they started working on themselves. And they started pursuing things, relationships, life outside of romance. Women are done. And I feel for young women right now, but I'm also proud of them because, it's just everything is telling them that they have to center man, and they're pushing against that.
What's a man's favorite insult whenever they mad at a woman? Oh, you single.
It's not an insult anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it ever was an insult.
But oh, you're gonna end up alone with cats, and women are like, yeah, good, hooray.
Mm-hmm.
If the option is to end up with a man like you,
and I don't blame them, because I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's gonna treat me bad and all that other stuff. I'd rather be with a cat or a dog, and I just feed them, talk to them, give them attention,
travel,
loyalty,
save some money, travel the world, pursue your hobbies. What do you mean I need to have a man to tell me what I can and cannot do?
An adult telling another adult what you can and can't do.
I think, these conversations are so important, and the backlash from the
breakfast, or you finna make breakfast? Oh, because I'll go to the store and get it if you don't want to cook breakfast. Yeah, you can finish.
Host, what is your name?
Oh, my name? Oh, Merkin.
I'm sorry?
Merkin. You talking about my real name or
Merkin?
the name I go by on here?
Whatever name you want to give me.
Oh, Merk.
Whatever name you're going to give me. Merk?
Yeah, Merk. My name up here works, Merkin.
Nice to meet you, Merk. Thank you for having this topics.
You're welcome. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. So these red pill men work. Yes, that red pill. Let me get on the topic of the red pill before I close my live. So what you about to say? Hello?
No, go ahead.
All right, so on the whole topic of this red pill, you got so many red pill creators on this app, YouTube. Now, not every red pill content creator is pushing the whole toxic narrative. It's some of them that actually have good messages, some of them not so much, and they push the toxicity. But Y'all King, fresh and fit. Y'all King, fresh and fit. One of them boys, they didn't practice what they preaching. A lot of y'all favorite red pill content creators ain't practicing what they preaching. For example, what his name? Walter from Fresh and Fit. He got this Instagram model pregnant, and these boy be preaching, don't date Instagram models. Protect your seed. Don't do this. And y'all King got an Instagram model pregnant, allegedly, and he don't want to be a father. The type of men y'all follow. Like when it comes to the red pill, I can get behind the whole guys go get your teeth whitened, guys get your money up. What guys go to the gym. I can get behind that. Self-improvement, find your purpose. I can get behind that. But the whole, being disrespectful to women, calling them out their name, downing single mothers, I can't do it. I can't
Yeah.
do it.
I
And
think one of the funniest things that I've conversations that I've had in the social media platform is that when I met my husband, it was after a 10-year relationship that was very violent. But I had 2 children from that relationship, and I was a single mother. And they absolutely hate the fact that I, as a single mother, established myself with a good man and was able to, and got married, and all the things that they say to single mothers, that you're unwanted,
use goods.
you're damaged,
Nobody wants to start another man save game.
they're not true.
Mm-hmm.
They're not true. I was a single mother, and and being a single mother is just life circumstances. Sometimes you get with when you're young. I was very young. You don't have, I was very, no. And it's like, you know, and it's not men that don't see women as objects or as things, or as or that actually see women, can see the value on a single mother. They see the value of building. And for everyone, some men don't want to have kids. It's gonna get in with a mother, and that's understandable. Like, men don't want kids, and they'll never get a single, and that's understandable. We're not, we're not damaged.
Mm-hmm.
We have just lived lives. But and it's a double standard, because this man, a single like this, they
You
be
breaking up.
taking these and abandon in the world. Whoa, that's for creative men. really different, girl. Because thank you for women getting when I have my pants that the money in life and male. I don't know. I myself. Can you hear? Can you?
You cutting it? I did not click them. I was just about to say they cutting in and out. You're not even on the panel anymore. I don't see you. I hear you. Now I can't. I can hear you now. Oh, what's up, bro?
Got that account back.
Oh yeah, I got it back. Yeah, I just got it back.
I had to switch accounts off. Let me see some real quick.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of holding the panel, and this young lady or older lady, I don't know, just speaking up peace, flying her plane. I don't know if she's still hello.
Let me see.
What's she gone?
I'm finna see. She not
Bro,
even here no
there's
more.
somebody up here. I ain't kick them or nothing.
Nah, she gone.
Oh well. So I learned my lesson on no, that's not her. It was Addie, I think.
Let me look. Nah, she gone.
Yeah, she gone. Her connection, either her connection was bad or my connection was bad. Cause like she was talking, I couldn't hear a thing. Like I was like she'll say something, and then it'll go to skipping and cutting. Like how if I would lag if I was on 2K or Fortnite in the party. You went live yet, bro? This your first time going live since you got your account back?
I just woke up.
You just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I woke up early and hopped straight on here. Done had some progressive conversations, some good conversations. Hopefully it'll change the view on some things.
Let me see.
But I'm finna go hit the shower. I gotta get ready and go somewhere with my people later. Nah.
That's a mic
Going
phone.
live again. I'm going live later today. I probably might be playing Fortnite later, like streaming Fortnite or something. But I go live later. Depends. Like round. I'm gonna get home 5, 6. If I don't go to sleep, I stream again around like 7, 8. To be honest with you. But I'm finna go ahead and get ready. Take me a shower. Can you tag me when you do? How do I tag people? I'm gonna follow you. I don't know how to tag people when I go live.
You don't know how to tag people.
When I go live, I don't.
It's not that hard.
But all right though, bro. I'm finna hit the shower. Get ready. I'll be live later. Just hit me with a follow. Turn your notifications on. Yeah. Peace out. I appreciate everybody that can supply. Thank you for the follows and gifts. Until we meet again, which will be later. Be playing Fortnite or something later. But all right, y'all. Peace. Won't let me end the live. No, I ain't been in. I ain't been saying nothing crazy.